It started with a camera, then a tool, and then the movies came to life. For over 100 years, Universal have been redefining entertainment. From the original Hollywood studio tram tour through to the battle with Disney in Orlando. Expansion into Tokyo and to Singapore and a world-class resort over in Beijing. And now we're on the cusp of Universal expanding into Europe, right here in Bedford, UK. Join me as we find out how we got here, what led us to this moment as we embark on the road to Bedford. Chapter 1. Origins. In 1915, pioneer Carl Laemmle opens Universal City on a ranch in the San Fernando Valley, California. He dubs it the world's only movie city, a fully functioning movie studio that also welcomes the public. Laemmle had moved his Universal Film Manufacturing Company from New York to Los Angeles for space and sunshine, and he wasn't shy about showmanship in promoting it. On March 15th, 1915, Universal City's opening day was a Hollywood extravaganza. Thousands of people, over 10,000 by some accounts, flocked to witness the festivities. Laemmle lays on free entertainment to wow the crowd, cowboy stunt shows, a flash flood created by dumping water onto a Wild West set, and even the demolition of a bridge for thrills. In a bit of foreshadowing, those stunts, floods, collapsing bridges, etc. will one day become signature theme park gags at Universal Studios. The opening celebration isn't all smooth sailing. One over-the-top stunt, a plane bombing exhibition, ends in tragedy when pilot Frank Seitz loses control and crashes during the show, sadly dying in front of the horrified onlookers. The week-long gala is cut short, and rival studios whisper that Universal's grand experiment might be cursed from the start. It's a sobering moment of jeopardy in Universal's early history. Undeterred, Laemmle continues inviting guests to see movies made. For 25 cents, visitors could enter Universal City, sit on bleachers and watch real film shoots on outdoor sets, with lunch included. They were even encouraged to cheer the heroes and boo the villains like a live theatre audience. By blending filmmaking with theme park flair, Universal City in the 1910s essentially operates as Hollywood's first studio tour attraction. One newspaper marvelled that ordinary people could peek behind the curtain of movie making instead of just looking at a bunch of footprints in concrete at a theatre. This early public studio tour couldn't last forever. By the late 1920s, the advent of sound films forces Universal to close its gates to visitors.
I am Dracula.
The cheering crowds and trampling feet were now an audio nightmare for talkie productions. Universal City becomes quiet. A closed lot once more. It would take over 3 decades before the public tour idea was resurrected. Chapter 2. The studio tour returns. Hollywood's second act. It's now the era of Walt Disney's Disneyland and a booming Southern California tourism industry. Universal's new owner, MCA, led by Lou Wasserman, senses an opportunity to reinvent Universal City as a tourist attraction once again. After some small-scale experiments in the 1950s, Universal let Grey Line buses drive through the lot, just to sell more lunches at the commissary. Now they are ready to go big. In July 1964, Universal officially launches the Universal Studios Tour. Bright pink and white trams, the glamour trams, carry visitors past sound stages and into the backlot for a guided peek at Hollywood magic. At first, it's a modest operation, just 2 trams running a few times a day, tickets sold from a little trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. No one is sure if this idea will fly. "I remember they said we were crazy," Lou Wasserman later recalled. Industry naysayers insisted talent wouldn't want people staring at them, and that the tour wouldn't do 50,000 people a year. There was real doubt in Hollywood about mixing tourists and filmmakers. In the first months, even Universal's own staff treated the tram as a nuisance on the lot. Some TV productions threatened to stop filming if trams got too close, and famously, actress Shirley MacLaine gave the tram a moon when it passed by, making good on a promise to protest the peeping tourists. Universal initially downplayed the venture as merely a public relations gesture, with a goal just to break even. But despite the skeptics, the public was hungry for a taste of Hollywood. Gossip columnist Hedda Hopper gushed that at last, tourists had more to do in Hollywood than just see a bunch of footprints in concrete. The turning point comes when the stars themselves warmed to the idea. Actor Robert Taylor politely greeted a tram of fans one day, showing that visitors could be respectful. Soon after, Jimmy Stewart, emerging from filming, walked alongside a tram, chatting with guests. The final seal of approval, famed director Alfred Hitchcock even filmed a playful TV promo for the tour.
Good evening. Welcome to Universal Studios, where you learn Hollywood secrets.
Riding the tram and having a doppelganger of himself appear on the backlot. After Hitch's famous commercial aired, the floodgates were opened, Wasserman said. No more complaints from the talent. The Universal Tour was officially Hollywood approved. With popularity surging, Universal quickly added more pizzazz to the tram tour. By 1966, a tram visit wasn't just sightseeing. You'd experience a Western stunt show, watch a makeup demonstration, maybe get attacked by plastic sharks in the lake, or see the parted waters of the Red Sea on the backlot. The studio tour was evolving into a full-fledged theme park ride. Universal built an upper lot entertainment centre with shows and exhibits to occupy guests before and after the tram ride. Essentially, Universal Studios Hollywood became the first movie-based theme park, letting people ride the movies years before that phrase became a marketing slogan. Those early skeptics were proven very wrong. Within 2 years of launch, the world-famous studio tour was drawing as many as 8,000 visitors per day in peak season. As one Variety report later noted, what began in '64 as 2 trams and a concert hut turned into a behemoth. By 1994, Universal Hollywood was welcoming 5 million guests a year, an entertainment juggernaut. The success in Hollywood emboldened Universal to think even bigger. Chapter 3: The East Coast Invasion, Universal in Orlando. It's the 1980s and Universal has its eye on Orlando, Florida, home of Walt Disney World and the tourism capital of America. Universal's plan: build a brand new movie theme park on the East Coast to go head to head with Mickey. They've spent years planning Universal Studios Florida, and when the project finally went public in 1986, it lit a fire under Disney. In an ironic twist, Disney's CEO, Michael Eisner, rushes to create Disney MGM Studios, a movie theme park that opens just months before Universal's, to claim Florida's studio park crown first. Disney MGM opened in May 1989, about a year ahead of Universal. The stage is set for a theme park prize fight in Orlando. Universal Studios Florida finally opens on June 7th, 1990, and it is a disaster. On paper, the park's lineup of cutting-edge rides, Back to the Future, Jaws, King Kong, Earthquake, etc., looked poised to one-up Disney. In practice, almost nothing works. On opening days, major attractions suffer embarrassing technical failures. The confrontation ride just stalls out. Jaws malfunctions so badly it has to be shut down and completely rebuilt. And guests wait hours only to be turned away by broken rides. The grand opening was such an unmitigated disaster that many wondered if Universal Florida would even last a year. One journalist quipped that even Disney's famously bumping 1955 debut was smooth in comparison. Here, almost none of the park's rides actually worked. Universal's brand new park was getting roasted in the press, and operations scrambled to fix problems on the fly. Sensing its rival in trouble, Disney couldn't resist a little jab. That very day, Disney took out a full-page ad in the Orlando Sentinel, greeting its new competitor with mock hospitality. "Welcome, Universal Studios Florida. What's good for tourism and entertainment is good for Central Florida," the ad proclaimed. On the surface, a gracious welcome. It was also a sly way for Disney to remind everyone who was the king of Orlando. Universal would later return the favour with their own tongue-in-cheek ad when Disney had an anniversary, showing E.T.'s hand passing a torch to Mickey. The theme park wars had well and truly begun. To Universal's credit, they didn't throw in the towel. Instead, they undertook emergency fixes and PR damage control. Every guest who visited in those first months got a free return ticket as they left. Universal essentially bought itself a second chance with the public. Over the next year, the broken rides were repaired and refined. The Jaws ride was completely re-engineered and reopened in 1993 to great acclaim. By the time those free ticket holders came back, they found a much improved experience. Universal also kept plussing the park with new additions. The E.T. Adventure Family ride opened in late 1990. The Five L's Playland and other kids' attractions in 1991, etc. Slowly but surely, Universal Studios Florida gained its footing. The turnaround paid off. Within a few years, Universal's first park outside Hollywood became a serious success. In 1994, Lou Wasserman could boast that 7 million visitors would pass through Universal Orlando's gates that year, even more than the Hollywood original. Hollywood had firmly entrenched itself in Orlando, proving there was room for more than just Disney. And they were just getting started. In the late 90s, Universal invested around $2.6 billion to expand from a single park into the Universal Orlando Resort.
We are proud to unveil Universal Studios Islands of Adventure.
In 1999, they opened Islands of Adventure, a second theme park featuring superheroes and Dr. Seuss, plus the City Walk, dining and nightlife district and on-site hotels. Universal Orlando became a multi-park destination, the East Coast's answer to Disneyland. The Orlando chapter exemplifies Universal's risk-reward cycle. They took on a Goliath in Disney on its home turf, stumbled badly at first, sparking predictions of doom, but through ingenuity and persistence turned things around. It's a dramatic story and one that sets the stage for Universal to take their ambitions global. Chapter 4: Global Expansion. Our first international stop is Osaka in Japan. On March 31st, 2001, Universal Studios Japan opens its doors, becoming Universal's first theme park outside the US. The park is a partnership with local investors and the city of Osaka, and it arrives with enormous hype. Japan, after all, is home to some of the world's most avid theme park fans. Tokyo Disneyland had been a smash hit since 1983. Universal brings many of its biggest rides to Osaka: Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., Back to the Future, and adds some regional exclusives. Still, many wondered, could Universal really challenge Disney on Disney's home turf in Japan? One Japanese visitor put it bluntly when comparing Universal's mascot Woody Woodpecker to Mickey Mouse. With Woody, I don't know. Somehow it's not the same. Mickey Mouse makes even adults melt. You just want to hug him. Universal lacked Disney's iconic characters, and the late 90s economy in Japan was shaky. Several domestic parks had recently gone bust. Glenn Gumpel, Universal's international president at the time, remained confident. "We're not mired in the past with just one character," he said, referring to Disney's Mouse. "I can tell you this is going to be a successful project." And he was absolutely right. Crowds flooded to Universal Studios Japan from day one. Over 11 million guests visited the first year alone, making it the fastest theme park ever to hit the 10 million attendance milestone at the time. Universal Studios Japan proved that Universal could not only operate abroad, but do so at a scale rivaling Disney. Our next stop is tropical Singapore in 2010. Universal Studios Singapore opened at Resorts World Sentosa in March 2010, planting Universal's flag in Southeast Asia. Unlike the massive Universal Studios Japan, this park is more intimate. About 20 attractions themed to Universal's franchises: Jurassic Park Rapids, Shrek's Far Far Away Castle, a Revenge of the Mummy coaster, etc. It's part of a government-backed integrated resort with casinos, hotels and aquariums aimed at boosting Singapore's tourism. The risk here was whether a relatively small island city could sustain a major theme park. But it did. Universal Studios Singapore saw over 3 million visitors in its first year, not bad for a single park setup, and routinely hits around 4 million annually in the years since. By tailoring the experience to a regional audience, so lots of indoor rides for the tropical climate, halal food options for Muslim visitors, Universal Singapore became a staple attraction for Southeast Asian tourists. It proved the Universal brand could travel to new markets successfully. Now we jump to September 20th, 2021, the grand opening of Universal Beijing Resort in China. This is arguably Universal's most ambitious project ever. A sprawling 420-acre complex featuring Universal Studios Beijing theme park, 2 resort hotels and a city walk, built in partnership with Chinese state companies. It had been in the works for 2 decades, conceived in the early 2000s, delayed many times, then finally greenlit in 2014. By 2021, anticipation was off the charts. In fact, opening day tickets, priced around $100, sold out within 1 minute of going on sale. And all hotel rooms were fully booked within 30 minutes. On opening day, tens of thousands of excited Chinese guests poured in despite the drizzle, eager to explore lands like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Jurassic World Isla Nublar, and the world's first Kung Fu Panda Land. The park is state-of-the-art, boasting the most advanced rides Universal has ever built, and enormous. By area, it's roughly on par with Universal Orlando's 2 parks combined. Beijing's park had the extra jeopardy of opening amid a pandemic and geopolitical tensions, yet it has been a resounding triumph. The state media hailed it as proof of fruitful cooperation between the US and China, and local officials expect over 10 million visitors per year going forward. Universal Beijing Resort instantly became one of the most attended theme parks in the world, even in its first partial year of operation. By the 2020s, Universal had transformed from a Hollywood one-off attraction into a global theme park brand. In the span of about 20 years, they launched major parks in Asia and partnered one in Spain. More on that momentarily. Each expansion coming with high stakes and skeptics, but ultimately expanding Universal's reach. From Hollywood to Orlando to Osaka to Singapore and Beijing, Universal proved its formula of ride the movies and that it could cross cultures and be adapted to local tastes. So what's next? One huge region remained uncharted: Europe. And that brings us to our final chapter and a leap into the future. Chapter 5: Coming Home to Europe, the Road to Bedford. For decades, Universal oddly had no theme park in Europe, even as a rival Disney built Disneyland Paris in 1992. Universal did make a small European foray. In 1998, it bought a stake in Spain's Port Aventura Park, rebranding it as Universal's Port Aventura, later Universal Mediterranean. They added a water park and hotel, attempting a Mediterranean Universal resort. However, due to financial shifts, Universal sold off Port Aventura in 2004, exiting Europe without ever building a new park there. That made Europe the one major continent without a Universal Studios park. European fans have been clamouring for years, and now at last it's happening for real.
And it's really fantastic to be here with all of you to announce this new world-class theme park and resort in Bedford. What an amazing thing.
In April 2025, NBC Universal officially announced plans to build Universal Studios Great Britain, the first Universal theme park in Europe, to open in 2031. The site, a 476-acre plot of land just south of Bedford, England, about 35 minutes by train from London. Bedford, a market town north of London, might seem like an unusual choice, but its central location means over 80% of the UK's population is within a 2-hour travel radius, a huge potential audience. The plan includes a world-class theme park with multiple themed lands, an adjacent 500-room hotel and retail, dining, entertainment complex like a city walk on site. In other words, a self-contained resort. This will be Universal's 5th such resort worldwide after Hollywood, Orlando, Japan and Beijing, Singapore being a smaller scale and a crown jewel for Europe. The UK government is treating the project as a big economic win. When Comcast's president met with Prime Minister Keir Starmer to finalise the deal, Starmer hailed it as transformative for Bedford and a key part of Britain's post-pandemic growth plan. "This is our plan for change in action," Starmer said, combining local and national growth with creating about 28,000 new jobs. It's not just about numbers, it's about securing real opportunities for people. Together, we are building a brighter future for the UK. The Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, likewise called Universal's investment a vote for confidence in Britain that will bring billions and thousands of jobs. According to government estimates, the resort will deliver £50 billion boost to the UK economy by 2055 and create 20,000 jobs during construction, plus 8,000 permanent roles when operational. Those are massive numbers, and local leaders are understandably thrilled. Bedford's MP has been enthusiastically championing the project in Parliament, emphasising how it will unleash the potential of the region. Universal executives are equally excited. Mike Kavanagh, president of Comcast, called it a special and historic milestone for the company and a natural next step in growing their business globally. Mark Woodbury, chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences, the Parks division, said, "Expanding into Europe presents us with a significant opportunity to reach new fans and share the incredible experiences our team creates."
Yes, I'm standing on the site. As you can see, there's a big pile of bricks behind me. I'm standing in some brick rubble. As you were just saying, this used to be brickwork, so it's old industrial land.
For Universal, this is not just another park, it's a chance to finally establish the brand in Europe, tap into a huge new market of tourists, and showcase their latest and greatest attractions on a new continent. Now, Universal haven't revealed specific rides or franchises yet. As they said, it's still too early to talk about planned attractions, but we do have clues. The official concept art, released with the announcement, shows a central lake with lands around it. A layout similar to Universal's parks in Beijing and Orlando. It hints at 4 themed lands. We can expect a mix of thrill rides and family rides, indoor and outdoor, with cutting-edge tech. If Beijing's recent park is any guide, Bedford's could feature some of Universal's blockbuster IPs. Perhaps a Minion Zone. Illumination's Minions are hugely popular globally. Maybe a Harry Potter area. Warner Brothers Studio Tour in London has been a hit, but a full Wizarding World theme park experience could draw fans from around Europe, though there are some licensing issues to resolve. Jurassic World rides, Transformers or Fast and Furious attractions and so on, plus content tailored to British and European culture. It's fun to imagine a Doctor Who or 007 James Bond collaboration one day, though no indications of that. But Universal have surprised us before. What we do know, the park will incorporate advanced storytelling and technology. Universal promises it will bring the same kind of innovative, immersive experiences they are known for. Construction is stated to begin by 2026. Once all the planning approvals are secured. Universal has already been conducting feasibility studies for over a year and engaging with local authorities and residents. Thus far, public reception has been overwhelmingly positive. Surveys show that 92% of local respondents support the project. Of course, there are hurdles. The project must navigate the UK planning process and potential challenges. For example, ensuring surrounding infrastructure like roads and rail can handle the influx of visitors. The government has vowed to streamline this process. A recent decision to expand nearby Luton Airport, despite environmental objections, signals that they're willing to push big projects through. If all goes smoothly, Universal Studios Great Britain will open its gates in 2031, and they are reportedly targeting around 8.5 million visitors in the first year, which would instantly make it one of the top theme parks in Europe, rivaling Disneyland Paris's attendance. Bedfordshire could well become the Orlando of the UK.